Hey guys, MGH here. Welcome to my first official FIFA 18 video. I've been at the Capture event. Thank you to EA for inviting me out. It was a fantastic day. I was able to play FIFA 18 all day and capture as much footage as I wanted. So obviously I got you some career mode footage. Today I'm just going to be showing you the new transfer negotiations, the cutscenes, all the new features, all to do with buying and selling players, which is really exciting. It's very cool. So first of all, I started an Arsenal career mode, as you'd expect. I went ahead and shortlisted Lamar. And actually, it got off to a pretty bad start here. It said the player is not for sale as the team doesn't have enough depth in this position. So this can happen in the new career mode. There are simply players that are just too important for the club and they will not be able to be purchased, which is a little bit disappointing. You know, you can't offer a player. Maybe that would be a good way around it. So unfortunately that's the case sometimes. Luckily I found out if you just simulate 6 months, so get to the next window, more often than not they are ready to purchase then instead because the team have bought someone in that position. So instead of going for Lamar, I decided to go for Rabiot. I scouted him for a couple of days, found out he was 80 rated with a value of £17.5 million. And this is the new cutscene, transfer negotiations. I'm going to turn down the music in this part. It drives me mad. They've added music because there's no voices. Unfortunately, they couldn't add any voices to this, so you have to read the subtitles and listen to this silly music on loop. But it doesn't matter. It's still pretty cool that you can actually negotiate and talk to player agents and things like that. So in this case, for Rabiot, I didn't want to add a player. I wanted to offer a transfer fee. And knowing that his value is £17.5 million, I thought I'd go in with a respectable offer. Around £18.5 million was my first idea here. A little bit more than his value. And we'll just go ahead and see what PSG's manager, Emery, will say. We wanted to add on a potential sell-on clause as well, which can just sweeten the deal a little bit. So if they sell him to me and then I sell him on, they will take a percentage, which would be 10%. So £18.5 million, 10% future sale value to compensate for the investment you've made in him already. Let's see what the PSG manager has to say. I think that's a fair offer. So we get off to a really good start there. No negotiations needed. I maybe could have got him a little bit cheaper. In real life, no way. Rabiot's probably worth 40, 50 million plus at this point. So we can go ahead and now negotiate with the player and his agent on the same day, which is amazing. I love that. Transfers are so much quicker now. And you'll see later on in this video that I actually I show you how to delegate these as well, so you don't have to do all of the cutscenes yourself. So we've negotiated the price with the club. They've accepted. So now I can negotiate with Rabiot and his agent, the guy sitting next to him. Unfortunately, Rabiot doesn't have a player face, which is a bit of a shame. So we start off here with his squad role. I've gone with important. I think there's a little bit of a bug there. Obviously, this is still an early build. Hopefully, they fix the subtitles a little bit there. But Rabiot is going to be an important player for us. He's probably going to play next to Xhaka, basically taking Ramsey's place. But I don't know. I like them all. I think Rabiot would be an important player, but maybe a slight squad role as well, every now and again swapping him out for other centre midfielders. So now they wanted to ask for a 5-year deal, which seems fair. He's 22 years old. He's easily going to be, you know, in his prime by the end of this contract. So 5 years is fine, and I might actually add another 4 years when this contract is over, something like that. So I agreed, 5-year contract. That's absolutely fine by me. And I think Rabiot goes ahead and accepts it nicely. Look at that little smile. He's very pleased with that. As you can see, the Alexis shirt behind him. So at this point, I could add a release clause, meaning that any other team could buy him from me without even approaching me. If they pay that release clause, they are free to negotiate with him. So I've gone ahead and decided to add in one of £45 million just to show you what it is. I'm not comfortable adding release clauses in general because it means you can lose your player. But of course, you do get a nice amount of money for it. But in this case, I'm doing it just so you can see how it works. So important role, 5-year contract, £45 million release clause, and they are happy to continue with the negotiations. So far, so good. Rabiot does look very happy, doesn't he? Smiling away. So now they're asking about the finances, his wage. They want $87,000 per week, £1.3 million as a signing bonus, and then after 20 appearances, £2 million. Now, I thought that's a little bit much, so I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do here and negotiate with them. So I'm going to edit the bonus here. I'm going to say after 20 appearances, you can have 1.6 or 1.5 million I went with in the end. And I'm also going to adjust the wage and the signing bonus. So I'm going to drop it down to 85,000 per week. And I'm going to increase the signing bonus to compensate for that. And then submit the offer. So we'll see if they can accept that. You can also remove the bonus, by the way. You don't have to add additional things to their contract. So there you go. You can see I've put my new offer to them, and let's see what they say. Are they going to negotiate further, or are they happy with that? And there you go. Deal done. Rabiot signs for Arsenal, and it's done. As simple as that. If only Arsene Wenger could do that in real life, eh? So unfortunately, we weren't able to get Lamar just because he wasn't ready to be sold. We went with Rabiot instead, and you can see he goes straight into the team. You can see some of the Arsenal ratings, which I've actually got another video coming up soon where I'm going to discuss all of their ratings and my thoughts on them. But Rabiot is an Arsenal player. We're going to move on to another player now, and this time I'm going to show you how you can delegate transfers. So we're going to go for Malang Sarr. I think he's going to be a fantastic player in the future. And he fits the Arsenal criteria. French, young, it just seems perfect. So we'll go for him. This time I'm going to delegate. So I'm going to use my my assistant manager. He's going to go ahead and negotiate the deal for me. I'm going to say, start the offer at 9.5 million and do not offer more than 14.5 million. That's the max I'm willing to pay for. And then a couple of days later, we do get an email back from the assistant manager saying that he managed to negotiate a deal up to £10.8 million. So you can go ahead and accept that, reject it, or negotiate yourself further. So it kind of cuts out some of the work for you. But I'm happy to pay that. We're going to go ahead and accept it. And then we're going to go ahead and delegate the negotiations on his contract. So I'm going to say start it at 12,500 and don't go higher than 25,000. Now, this is where something happened that I don't think will be in the real game. It seems to be a bit of a bug. They said they weren't willing to accept an offer below 12.5. Why is he offering below 12.5 when I said go up to 25? I'm not really sure why that happened, but at least I've showed you that it is possible to delegate these transfers, and hopefully that's going to be fixed for the actual release of the game because, well, that's clearly just a bit silly. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you selling a player. So there is Zinedine Zidane, of course, Real Madrid's manager. He's approached me looking to sign Koscielny, one of our better players, someone that I'm definitely not keen on selling. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how you can negotiate a deal. So you can add sell-on clause, you can propose a new transfer fee if you weren't happy with the offer. They offered 21. I knew this was going to be rejected, but out of curiosity, I wanted to see how much we could get for Koscielny. So I've asked for 35 million. He's one of my biggest players in the squad, really important to Arsenal Football Club. No way I'm letting him go for less than 30-ish. And let's see what Zinedine has to say. It's all about a waiting game here and seeing if they can actually agree with you. Let's compromise, he says. We're willing to give you 25.9 million, which is a pretty respectable offer considering Koscielny's worth 18.5. But of course, at this point in this career mode, I was not going to accept that. So I've got a chance to stall it and think about it, reject it, counter, or just accept. So I decided to reject it, and Zinedine Zidane walks out of the room. He's disgusted with me, clearly thinks that it was a good offer, and he's not willing to add another offer in. So instead of finishing it there, I wanted to actually make sure I did sell a player. So John Torrell, not a player that's in my plans. We're going to go ahead and negotiate with Nottingham Forest, I believe it is. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I've forgotten exactly what happened here. I played so much FIFA that day. So we're going to go ahead and adjust the fee here. I thought 830,000 was not enough. I'm going to go ahead and offer 1.25 million as a counter offer. Submit that and see if they're actually able to match that. Unfortunately not. They're saying that is their final offer. So for the purposes of this video, again, I'm just going to go ahead and accept it. And they do get John Torrell. So there you go. He has gone to Nottingham Forest for less than his value. So probably not the best idea to sell a player so cheap. But I'm Arsenal. I don't really need this kind of player. And I don't necessarily need a lot of money. So that's just a general look at how the transfer system works now with the negotiations and the cutscenes. Hopefully you think it looks good. There are a few little things they need to iron out, but hopefully you get the idea here. It's really good fun. I'm just hoping it doesn't get tedious after a while. Thankfully, they have included the delegate option because that would be a real a real pain in the arse if you had to do every cutscene, because sometimes you're in a rush or whatever it may be, you just don't want to do it. So I personally really like it. I love the fact that it gets a bit more personal with the players. You're actually talking to their agents, you're negotiating with the player themselves, and I love adding release clauses, sell-on clauses, things like that. And I think it's going to be really good fun. It's going to add a little bit more realism to career mode. So thank you for watching, guys. Most importantly, please do subscribe, because I have a lot of FIFA 18 content coming up on my channel over the next 2 weeks before the game comes out. I managed to record quite a lot at the EA Capture event, and hopefully you're going to enjoy those videos. Make sure you drop a like as well, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment, and I will see you next time.